Welcome back into ARC PDX, and we know that Portland has so much to offer for cinephiles of all kinds. Tonight, we got another screening and another series that we got to tell you about. Next week, Hollywood Theater is going to be debuting a new monthly series all about feminine rage and how they let it all out. With Miss 45, a 1981 grindhouse horror action film. There's a whole lot to talk about it, and joining us to talk about it, three are Hollywood Theater's finest staff members. We have Betsy Kniffin.
Yes, you got
Absolutely. We have Maura Campbell-Shun. Shun, excuse me there, and we have Chloe Skaar.
You got it.
Absolutely. Okay, this is going to be fantastic. First, before we get into Miss 45, that's going to be a great one that's coming up on November, what day?
19th.
19th. There we go.
Yeah.
First, the series that it's in is called Can You Blame Her? All right, so this is a new monthly series. Can you guys tell us what is this series all about?
Well, we really wanted to do a series that was gonna, celebrate feminine rage and just give people some great films that, are just great displays of cathartic feminine rage.
Yeah.
And so...
Celebrating feminine rage is not a phrase that you hear often when people are pitching stuff. So I got to ask, how did celebrating feminine rage kind of become something that you guys wanted to highlight?
Yeah.
Who wants to take that question?
Well, you know, we were talking about possibly creating a new film series that was focused on women, and we were like, well, what kind of inspires us? You know, what do we want to see in films? And we were like, you know, it's kind of fun to see angry ladies just going for it. So. Yeah.
Love to hear it.
Kind of went from there.
Don't we all? And I know that the first movie, this Miss 45, is from 1981. I was curious, is there a certain time or kind of a year or decade where feminine rage movies were really kind of were all the rage?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think like mid-70s, kind of when like second wave feminism was going on, there was like a lot of experimental film and like protagonists going on, which is great. We're starting with like 1981, which is like, you know, obviously just a few years after that, but it was kind of like kicking off, like it's kind of like a gritty, violent, like New York City setting. So, you know, a little bit edgier as they go on with time.
Sounds like a perfect introduction.
Yeah, we hope so, yeah.
All right, so first now with Miss 45, what can you tell us about this screening happening?
Yeah, we're really excited. We spent a lot of time picking this movie as our kickoff. Like you said, it starts next Wednesday, November 17th or 19th at 7:30. And we picked this movie because it has this really great dynamic of like, obviously it's a revenge film, and so there's just like this really great ratio of like suffering to revenge, and we really appreciate this character's emphasis on she just like really goes all out in a way that like other similar movies of the genre don't really allow.
Yeah, the description for Miss 45 kind of got my attention. It was it had words like revenge film that is both empathetic and rewarding.
Yeah,
it's kind of the full, you get the full kind of a spectrum of emotion in a revenge film.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're hoping for that in all the films we show.
Yeah, cathartic seems to be a key word for it.
That's word.
That is awesome. And I know, so I'm curious, do you guys have a favorite female rage film that is top of mind?
What a great question.
Right? Because it's fairly niche, but it's not at the same time. I don't know. So what's top of mind for you guys?
I mean, Miss 45 is like my top, of course, but I also am a big fan of Revenge. It's a 2017 French film, and it's like a similar like kind of like, you know, revenge subgenre. But yeah, it's the whole cast is like one woman and three men, and it's just so gross and violent and bloody the whole time. It's awesome. Extremely satisfying. We screened it at Hollywood a couple months ago, but that's a top one for me.
Okay. Any others that you guys want to shout out real quick?
Gator bait. Hopefully we're gonna
I'm trying to give our viewers a little bit of inspiration. If they go and see Miss 45, they'll know what to go for. And I know that we have also the second film on that series is Lady Snowblood that's coming up on December 22nd. Unfortunately, we don't have time to talk about it, so people are just gonna have to show up and see it themselves.
They'll show up and see.
Absolutely. All right, there you go. And it's again November 19th.
You got it.
There we go. 7:30 for the debut of Miss 45 at Hollywood Theater. Guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Barry. We appreciate it. Yeah.
We have a lot more to talk about here on ARC PDX today.